Just one away from this, have you got any news on Kell Brook? What's going on with that?
Yeah, it looks like he'll be out at the end of October. So September 12th fight just come around a little bit too soon for him. You know, obviously he had a huge camp going into the Jojo Dam fight because of his injury, and then he literally had 2 days off and he was straight into the Frankie Gavin camp. And if he was going to box on September the 12th, then he would have had to go straight into camp again. I just think his body needed a little bit of a rest. So end of October, realistically, and I've seen people talking about Leonard Bundu and Chris Van Heerden, then they're just not on the radar. We need a big name for Kell Brook next, and you never know, might even be Amir Khan.
Is the Brandon Rios one completely dead in the water now?
I don't think necessarily completely dead in the water, but he didn't want to take the fight. We made him a huge offer, then improved the offer. There's talk of rematch clauses, but I think basically he didn't want to come to the UK and fight Kell Brook. I don't really blame him, and I think that is one of the problems. Is a lot of these fighters know how good Kell Brook is. He is that good, and I think that's one of the reasons that we'll always be working hard to secure his opponents.
And Chris Algieri, has another one been linked? Is he on the list?
No, he hasn't been thought about, spoken about. I can see the link there with the Amir Khan fight. Amir beat him, wasn't convincing, but I think it was tough for Amir to get up for that fight. It's not a target. Don't think it's a horrific fight, but I don't think it's one necessarily that we're looking at the moment.
And Amir Khan, like you mentioned him there. I know he said he wouldn't, but if he misses the Floyd fight, are you going to kind of make an offer again, try and get some talks going?
Yeah, I think I just want to sit down and just we haven't really had the opportunity to do that and look at the sides of the fight, look at the numbers, and I believe that when you see them, you just can't ignore it. So once we know the numbers of the fight, it's then about negotiating the split of the fight, which of course is going to be the most difficult thing. But for me, when I look at the numbers, and I just think, how can you not? And I understand you want the Floyd fight, of course, but you can't ignore this fight. It's too big, and nothing would make me more happy than making Kell Brook against Amir Khan, just as a fan, because that is a fight that, you imagine the press conference. This is what we're in the game for. So, and I think Amir will want to listen. I think he'll want to see it, and I think when he does, I think we've got a chance of making that happen.
Just finally, any other news fallout from Saturday? Anything happened in the last couple of days?
No, obviously, on the Crawler situation, we've put an official letter and appeal into the WBA. The British Boxing Board of Control have written to the WBA as well. I think there's a decent chance the WBA will order a rematch. If they don't, I think there's also a decent chance that we can make the rematch anyway. It's turned into a very, very big fight. It's obviously a headliner on its own in the MEN, and we can improve our offer, and ultimately this game is all about the money from top to bottom. So I think I'd like to see the WBA order the rematch, because I think boxing needs credibility, and once there's mistakes, I think they need to be rectified. I don't think it was the greatest travesty of all time. Without the points, it was quite close. I actually gave it 2 rounds to Crawler without the points, but with the points, I gave it 4 rounds. And then I just, there wasn't anyone in the arena or watching anyone around the world who gave the fight to Perez, or who even gave it a draw. So how can those judges get it wrong and rob the kid of his childhood dream? That's the biggest kick in the nuts. So hopefully the WBA will do the right thing, and hopefully we can get that fight made for November time.